Sherry, I think you told me, but I forgot. What do you call this?
It's a blood orange tart, has a graham cracker crust and a brown sugar meringue top on it.
Chip and I are here at Sherry's backyard. We came to taste that fabulous tart that she invented. We're going to talk a little bit about the blood oranges she used and a little bit about gardening and John and Bob's products. If you'd like to watch our latest video about how this garden was turned into more of an edible garden, you can click the link in the top right-hand corner to watch it. So how long does it take to make?
You know, it doesn't take that long, but it's a complicated recipe. I should have made the curd yesterday because it takes a really long time to really set up. This one, I did not do it last night, so it's having a little trouble setting. So it's going to be a little runny, but it'll taste good.
So we could rename it Runny Blood Orange Tart.
There you go.
You told me you made it many years ago and won an award.
I did. By Lowly Gardens, we invented this recipe.
Boy, you made the recipe. Isn't that hard to do?
No, I like making up recipes. And sometimes they work, John, and sometimes.
So how many blood oranges did you use?
3, and a lemon, 1.5 lemons.
Wow.
So there's 1.5 lemons and 3 blood oranges.
So this year you had to buy the blood oranges, but next year you'll be able to use your own.
I hope so.
Yeah, well,
You
3.
think I'll get
I think
3?
we can do 3.
I'm hoping I get like 3 of everything.
Yeah.
Just so I can taste it.
That'd be perfect.
It
We
would.
didn't plant a lemon though, right?
No,
Yeah, so you'd
which
have
I'm
to,
happy about
you'd have
because
to buy the lemon.
No, I don't. Because down the street, somebody's lemon bush is hanging over the fence in an empty lot.
Oh,
And that's where I get my lemons.
that's very resourceful.
And I also get my grapefruit there.
Are we ready to try it?
The crust is good.
It's very
the
good.
flavors are actually really good.
I got the part I like is where you can get the color of the blood orange. This is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Just like citrus in general, you might have a frost problem, but other than that, blood oranges are like growing oranges.
They're not more persnickety than a regular old navel orange.
No,
Why don't more people have them on their yards?
I think
then?
a lot of people don't like blood oranges, which is hard
Really?
to fathom, but I think a lot of people don't like blood oranges. I grow a lot of different kinds of citrus, but mostly I just eat it fresh. I don't think I do anything creative with it. I define a good mandarin orange as one that's easy to peel and no seeds, and so that's what we try to grow.
Oh, John, I have a question for you on that. You know, when you're driving down the street, you see these oranges and they have these tarps over them. Big, long plastic sheets. Is that to keep the pollinators out of there so they don't have seeds?
Exactly.
Okay, I was
That's
right.
why that is. And so even some of these seedless varieties end up with seeds because because that's an expensive process. And so not everybody does that. And then if you end up with seeds, the marketability is much less.
Well, mine are going to end up with seeds because I'm not going to cover them
Well,
like that.
I don't cover mine and I don't get seeds, so it's not a
Interesting.
guarantee that you'll get seeds.
Here, how about I have more. And I'm going to do this for me.
I'm trying to
I'm
get
trying to get you a
the
decent-
blood orange part.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you a decent chunk of blood orange. What temperature can at night the temperature gets down to 38. I've figured that's fine.
Oh yeah.
So I figured it's good till about 30. Is that about right?
No, 30's no problem. And what you're talking about only is damaging the crop. You're not talking about damaging the trees at 30 or even 28. In the 24 to 28 range, then you could have some damage to the citrus, the crop.
To the crop.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so I can go down to 28, 29 and not have to put
29's
frost
not a
cloth.
problem. Some of that depends on how mature they are. As you get more sugar in it, it's more resistant to cold temperatures. So if this cold temperature happens January 15th, then you can go down to probably 24. But if it happens December 1, then you're probably around 25, 26. To kill the tree, we'd probably have to get down to 18 or something. If you have lots of microbiology in the soil, complex microbiological life, that'll give you a couple of more degrees variance there. It's kind of like an antifreeze effect. So that's why we use Blend and Penetrate Liquid Biotiller around everything, but particularly around citrus.
So now how much penetrate would I put on each one of those plants? Like, and when? When would be the next time I would put penetrate on?
In early spring, so the middle of March. Then how many applications you do is up to you. A once a month application is extremely generous. I'd start in the spring.
And how much of the, you mix it, you get the little bottle, you mix it with like a gallon of water, right?
A gallon of water for 8 ounces of product. You can put that in a gallon of water. You could put it in 2 gallons of water. It doesn't matter how much water you use, as long as you get sufficient amount of product wherever you're spraying it. Let's say you've got 6 citrus.
6 citrus and 3 almonds out front.
Yeah. So you could do all of that with a gallon of water and 1 8-ounce.
And then I mix up, the Optimize and the Maximize and whatever the other one is.
Nourish Biosol.
Okay, Nourish Biosol, and come up with blend.
Yeah.
And then
Or you could just buy the blend from us,
right.
already mixed.
I like to mix it.
Okay, good.
I like mixing it
Good.
myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I like mixing it myself is I take and I put them, every once in a while I'll say, oh, I think I need a little more of this. I'll look at the labels and I'll just squeak in just a little bit more of this or that.
Okay.
And it's actually, I kind of like doing that.
Kind of like making a tart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of like making my own
You
recipe.
made your own recipe, yeah. Okay. You're aware the benefit is then you can store those products
Longer.
indefinitely. Yeah.
Correct.
Whereas if you buy the blend, you can't store it indefinitely.
No, you've got
You
just
could, but
a
it's
shorter
not
amount
great.
of time. And so that's the other reason why I've done it this way. I'm thinking for each tree, if I remember the instructions right on blend, it would be like, what, a half a cup each tree or a cup? Or how
No,
much is it?
I like to do the tree size that you have. I'd like to do about 3 cups
Per tree.
But if you do that, you could probably just do it once a year. At the most twice a year. If you wanted to do a cup, you could, but then you could just do it more frequently if you want to do it.
Now, what's better? Once and do a big amount, or more frequently and do small
Well,
amounts?
better for the tree, I don't think it matters. What we're trying to do is make this a product that isn't so much work that people aren't going to do it. So I would say we encourage people just every 6 months, twice a year. I think that's better from the standpoint of making it easier for gardeners. We're trying to come up with a rate that gives you the most amount of benefit for the least amount of cost.
Product. Okay. What I didn't know is really how much I should put on some of these plants. And I think I've been a little light on it, actually. And
Well, there's no
then-
such thing as too much. It's just that, you spend more money. But
Okay, so they won't burn.
the more the better.
It
What
won't
we're-
burn.
No, it won't burn. No.
All right.
That's one of the big benefits of the product is you can't ever do damage, whereas you can with synthetic products. You can do a lot of damage.
And that was what I was worried about. Like with tomatoes, for instance, you can really mess up your tomatoes if you put too much
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
nitrogen on them or anything else.
So let us know how you feel about the video. If you enjoyed it, it's different than we normally do. And also ask us any questions you might have about how to turn your landscape into an edible one, or any questions you have about how to make your garden or your landscape more useful. We want an explosion in 3 weeks to a month of new growth and flowers, and that red bud there will look fantastic.
I called it the grasshopper tree.
Oh, because
It attracts grasshoppers. And I'm hoping by moving it, the grasshoppers don't love it.
you know what, one of my friends
Crazy.
told me that he had grasshoppers on something, I don't remember what, and he, for some reason, mixed up our Penetrate Liquid Biotiller and sprayed the plant and the grasshoppers, and they all left.
Really?
That's what he says.
I will try it.
We don't have it on the label as impacting grasshoppers, but he claims that it gets rid of grasshoppers.
All right, well, it's worth a try if I get grasshoppers again.
Some of the red buds do have an armyworm problem that seems to be every year, and sometimes they're hard to get rid of. Probably the best thing is to pick them all off.
Well, that's the best thing to do with grasshoppers, too.
Yeah, but you don't like that.
I can do tomato worms. Grasshoppers just... Now, do you want to know why?
Okay.
All right.
Why?
So when I was a kid, we were sitting on the fence, my sister and I, and there was this great big grasshopper, and he had those legs with the saw-looking legs on them. Mm-hmm. And my sister said, "Be careful, it's going to cut off your fingers." And I didn't know that a grasshopper couldn't cut off your fingers until I was in my 20s. And
Man, your sister's devious.
and I still, to this day, look at a grasshopper and go, no, maybe not.